one of the topics that I see recurring over and over in the topic of conversations and social skills in general is how to react when people kind of seem to be talking about you behind you, right? So like you meet someone for the first time and then that person's like, "Oh, I heard a lot about you." Or you go to a cafe that you regular and then the employees are like, "Oh, here's this person," right? And so when these things happen, when you aren't really sure about your character and you are, for whatever valid reason that you have, you care about other people's opinions, it can send you to a spiral of, "What? Wait, what? This is my first time. Like, and I wasn't expecting this. What are they thinking about me?" So that's a common reaction to have. So how do you want to navigate? Well, yes, people. This obviously happens because people talk about you. And now, can people talk only good things about you? You ideally want that to happen, right? You ideally want to be perceived only as good. You want to ideally be seen as the good person. So, when you feel the threat of being recognized as someone undesirable, negative, then the tendency is to hide. That's basically what shame is, right? And when shame starts to control your life, the thing that happens is, suppose this world right now, like it called my room, it's filled with light, right? And now, when shame enters, that like a little bit of negative perception happens, then I there's a little bit of a shadow, right? I can't go there because I need to be perceived in a positive light only. So, for example, this dark shadow area that you're seeing right now, I think it's because of my fan. Um, you're not gonna go there, and now you're gonna meet other people in your life, right? And then you're gonna be, encounter this one more possibility to be seen as potentially negative. So more shadows in your life, and so as your life goes on and on and on and on, you just have more places in life you cannot navigate to. So sometimes it's going to be physical places like cafes where you're recognized, restaurants where you're recognized, libraries when you feel self-conscious. And many times it's going to be like an internal place of you introducing yourself to other people. You kind of like going off for new experiences with old friends. And what if you get recognized by an old friend from a new, thing, and then now everybody gets to talk about you. So the more you want to control the narrative around you and the more shame enters into your life, the more difficult it is to live a free life because you're sort of shackled and bound by these things you cannot do. So if you can go to majority of the places, but there's just like one or two things that you don't want to go to, good. Like you're free most of the time. You don't need to worry about these things. But the problem with these types of scenarios, as life accrues, if you don't know how to deal with other people's perception of you, your life starts becoming basically predominantly shadows and you don't really have anywhere else to go because everywhere is a threat and that's not a fun place to be. So what is the thing to think about in these types of things? Well, the thing is, Jesus wasn't universally liked when during his time. So was Buddha. So was Muhammad. All these like literal saints and prophets, they weren't universally liked. Even the Christian Catholic God, Jewish God, Allah, Buddha, even those literal deities are not universally liked, right? So you trying to be universally liked is sort of like trying to be better than all of them. It just doesn't make any logistical sense. And now you have people that you disagree with, you have ideologies you don't agree with, right? So, for example, suppose I am a vegan. But if meat lovers love me, then it's just kind of like it just goes against my principles, right? If like people who slaughter for pleasure and if people like mass manufacturing meats for their like economic income. Like if they end up like, oh yeah, Billy, that guy, he's really he gets me, um then as a vegan, that would be very like strange of me, right? So being liked everywhere is sort of impossible. Now I'm sure this makes logical sense, but the core of the issue is you don't know how to handle being disliked. You don't know how to handle how to be seen in a negative way. And that is the core of the issue. It's less about other people. Yeah, like you can't control other people. You can do the nicest things for them, wine and dine them. If they decide to not like you, there's literally nothing you can do about it, right? So the core of the issue isn't the things that you cannot control. The core of the issue is things you can control, which is working with how to deal with people not liking you. And so how do you get around it? When you get the idea that people don't like you, like what does it mean? You have to follow that feeling. Does it mean you're flawed? What narrative does it strengthen and reinforce? Does it mean you're stupid? Does it mean you're ugly? Does it mean you're conventionally unattractive? Does that justify like all the past failures in your life? You have to identify when you feel bad because other people don't like you. What other negative parts of your life does it connect you to? And that association and all the things underneath have to be examined. And I have been, and I will talk about more of those in the future videos. And I'm sure when you look at other videos in my channel, you will find a lot of resources around people's perception of you and what your life means. And I especially want to talk about, I recommend to you my video series called Before You Start Therapy. With that said, I am planning to have a guest lecturer about purely about social skills and networking, making friends, making professional relationships, and so on. So, if you have interest in developing your social skills, making friends, and you have questions and you have problems that prevent you from doing that today, drop them in the comments. I will make sure to address those questions and comments during the community class, which is going to be hosted on YouTube just like my regular streams. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.